If you've ever wondered if the Phalynx HPTX-2 shorts are worth the money, then check out this video. I'm going to talk about the features and details of it and also compare it to the original version of the HPTX. So I've been wearing Phalynx gear for several years now, and they are definitely on the more high end of the NoGi kit, but they are also one of the OGs. So they're widely used by 10th Planet, and you're gonna see them in it probably every major jiu-jitsu tournament. So, you know, they've been evolving the NoGi game for many, many years. And every year they seem to be releasing new designs that are gonna be more effective for jiu-jitsu. So jiu-jitsu is still, the NoGi is still relatively a new sport. And so the gear hasn't really gotten there yet, even though it's just shorts and a rash guard, just like how football and basketball is all these other sports that keep optimizing the jerseys. So the first time I purchased a set of Phalynx shorts, they had the old school style. They were more like board shorts. They had the Velcro on the top, and pretty much nowadays, all the shorts are going to this more elastic band. So they just got rid of the Velcro. The Velcro I think is annoying because when you throw it in the wash, and if it's not closed or inside a wash bag, then it rips up all your rash guards and all the other things then too. And plus the other thing too is the flap tends to just roll up over time. So I do like the look of the Velcro with the flap because I think it just looks more OG, and I'm kind of an old school type of guy. But I understand everything is going to this. The only problem that I have with these type of shorts is they just kind of look like gym shorts, right? So, you know, with this whole fun, what's called bendy thing. But you know, they are nice because on days that you might have an extra inch or two around your waist, they just flex good versus the more board shorts, they're not as forgiving. In my hand right here, I have the original HPTX shorts, which were first released in 2022. The new ones came out last year in 2024. And so there's been some slight modifications to this. So this is one of their first runs at making the non-Velcro style. And it actually wasn't too bad. The problem that I have is that, you know, these type of shorts are very like kind of, you know, minimal. They're extremely lightweight. And me coming from wearing more board shorts type, I'm just used to a little bit more stronger material, right? And the more old school. So it seems like everything has gone lighter, 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 thinner, thinner. And honestly, it just feels like I'm wearing a very small piece of cloth around my waist when I'm training. So, and these aren't too bad. There are some other brands out there. This one does have a nice flex on this one. But, you know, one of the big changes that they've made on this one over here is a lot of their stitching is different. And for some reason, they added a fly, like a faux fly on here. And then they added a pocket for the phone, which I'll get into in a minute here. So probably the biggest difference is going to be the mesh liner that they have inside. The original ones do not have that. So now I'm going to get into the design and features of these shorts. One of the things that stood out to me, so if you go on Phalynx's YouTube page, Chris Martinez, the guy who actually designed the shorts and owned Phalynx, he talks about how he met someone on the street and they were carrying a bunch of stuff wearing Phalynx shorts. So what he did is he added a phone pocket and a mouth guard. But I'm gonna tell you this, I have never known anyone to actually stuff their mouth guard in here or especially put a phone in here because the phone is heavy and then these shorts are on the light side. And I just can't imagine that carrying a phone around, especially an iPhone Plus, and then walk around with these shorts, your shorts would be falling down unless you just tie this super tight. So I think it's cool that they put these in here, but I honestly have never, ever put my shorts or my mouth guard in here, and I don't ever see myself putting my phone in here as well. Talking about the waistband, one nice thing I noticed about Phalynx, there's a big problem with many shorts, and what they do is that if you don't tie these in the wash, they come undone. What Phalynx has done, and you can't see it in here, is they've stitched this tie around the back, so there's no possible way that this is gonna come out, because if it has come out and you put this on before, you know it can take, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes, sometimes even an hour to slip this all the way through, and then you gotta use a toothpick, you gotta use a toothbrush or whatever to try and get it through, and it's just really a strong pain in the ass. With this waistband over here, it flexes quite a bit. And one of the things I really like what they did with this shorts is all the attention to detail on the inside. So the way they printed, even though the pockets, you can't see them, the inside of the waist, and even behind the mesh, this one you can't see it as much, but I'm gonna go over here. You can just see the attention to detail that they put into the mesh liner over here, which gets me to the next point, the mesh liner. At first I thought it was a bunch of bullshit. And so I was like, why would you put a mesh liner? Doesn't make a difference. But honestly, I like the mesh liner because it adds more weight to the shorts. It makes them sit down better. And I honestly think that it dissipates the heat better. So, the sweat. So, with the other shorts, sometimes they just get so wet and then they just like as if you're gone swimming in them. But with these mesh, they seem to do a really good job of ventilating. So I'm pretty happy with what they did with the inside of the shorts over here. The next feature that I do want to talk about is just kind of this faux fly. I don't know why he did it, but all I know is this: if you add more stitching, you add more material, it increases the cost of things. So like for me, I definitely would not have added this foam pocket because I guarantee you probably less than 1% of people will use it. And the fly thing is just aesthetics, but you know what? Hey, kudos to making that attention to detail, and I really like that. Now, as far as like the flex of this is probably one of the best materials that I've had for shorts, because the nice thing is that this has the right amount of give, so it doesn't feel like it's gonna tear. And anytime, because I do wear more fitted type of shorts, these are extra small. If I'm laying down in the guard position or I'm crouching down or whatever, I don't ever feel like these are being restricted. So these are 5-inch inseam, and the flexibility on the shorts themselves are pretty nice. So the HPTX-2 comes in a lot of colors. Now, Phalynx recently just went through a whole revamp where they made their brand reborn, and now these are all legacy. I get a company has to evolve, but I just felt like all the colors, all their styles were all on point. And now it seems like they went to a very extreme minimal type of design. But if you can get on their site right now, a lot of their stuff is currently on a discount. This video was shot in April of 2025. So I don't know how long those legacy options are gonna last, but if you can get a deal on them right now, go ahead and get them. So I've been rolling with these shorts for a little bit now, and my honest opinion on it is, to me, they're the best shorts I've ever owned. I think the inseam is a good length. I think the material is solid. I think it handles, hard training rounds, lots of sweat, pretty good. It dissipates it well. And then on top of that, I think just like the look and the fit is just like really good. So, I've never once thought when I was training that the shorts were limiting my ability to move. In terms of how well they slide across the mat, I mean, there you go. But, if you're a guard player, you're sitting down, you move around a lot, these aren't gonna grip the mat so hard that your butt's just dragging hard. So, I would definitely purchase more of these style of shorts in the future. There are some newer lightweight styles that don't have the mesh that they just released. And I guess it's kind of like the split between the original ones and what these ones are. But we'll just see how they go. I'll probably get a pair of those in the future and just to try them out and see. So my final thoughts on these shorts is I give them a thumbs up, actually 2 thumbs up. And I would buy these again, and I would highly recommend these to anyone. So these are still in their current inventory, the HPTX-2. They're just coming out with different designs. And I'm really happy with what Phalynx did. So like I said, the only difference is that I would probably get rid of the phone thing because I don't see that happening. But I think they've hit the nail on the head with these shorts. And for certain, I'll be wearing these for many, many training sessions to come. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to our channel to help us grow so we can review more jiu-jitsu gear for you.